Good evening, Frank, and happy Valentine's Day. You said after the game the other night that you guys were very concerned about the way you have been starting games. Are you at a point where you would consider mixing anything up with your starting group, or how do you attack the way you've been starting games? If not,
no, we're not changing the starting lineup. We just got to be better. We just look at the totality of it. I think we had a couple of guys a little sluggish out of the gates after 3 straight overtime games, and a couple of guys came back into the lineup after missing a few games that were very rusty. And I think those factors contributed us to just being a little bit out of sync. We watched the first quarter this morning as a group, and there's some things we could execute a lot better, and that's sort of the message. And we just got to be better to start games.
Okay, Dave McMenamin, please.
Hey, Frank. So if 2 quick questions. One is, if you aren't starting lineup, not changing the starting lineup, that means Anthony Davis is good to go.
Correct.
Okay. And then secondary, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he was so hot for a while with this season. Can you point to anything that has led to his production dipping over the last several weeks?
Yeah, I think he's just not getting as many clean looks. Ever since he had that 7 for 10 game in Milwaukee, and was putting up plus 50% shooting from the 3. Opposing coaches, they target guys like that. Like, we got to make sure that he doesn't get going, and they help less. And he's not getting as many clean looks. Combine that with the fact that we're probably kind of in the dog days of the season right now, and we just came back to earth a little bit with the open looks that he is getting, but not anything I'm worried about.
Okay, Mike Trudell, please.
Hey, Frank, just looking back at the game against Denver and the down 12 at halftime, and you turn things on, especially late in the third. What were the big takeaways there from what you saw and how you executed against them?
Well, we just stayed the course. You know what I mean? There's a lot of situations, especially in the NBA. It's a 48-minute game. We like to play 53, but it was a 40. Most of the time it's a 48-minute game, and if you get down early, you have time. If you just stay the course and focus on your execution pieces and keep your sense of urgency where it needs to be, you can play your way back into games, and we were able to do that by not panicking from the early start. And credit our guys, just for staying the course, believing in what we do, and executing, and knowing that we can take control of the game if we stay the course.
Michael Malone was just speaking about some of the roster changes that they had from the Western Conference Finals series and some of their key rotation pieces, Frank, that have been gone. But what have you noticed about the evolution of Denver and how they're a little bit different with some of the guys that are getting more minutes this season?
Yeah, well, I think they definitely miss Grant and Plumlee and Craig, but they've had some other guys step up. Having Barton back in the lineup has been a big plus for them. Campazzo, some of their bench guys, really impacting their play, and I think they're a team that can accomplish what they did last year. I think they're obviously when you're playing around Joker and Murray, those are the centerpieces, and the rest of the guys got to play their roles. They're obviously very well coached. And but they're different for sure. And Porter also, Porter being in his second year, has taken another step as well.
Okay, we're going to go to Dan Wilkie, please.
Hi, Frank. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you and Alan. Anthony started, I think, 1 for 6, and whatever day that was. You guys played last Friday, I think. And he kept shooting. There have been times this year where he hasn't. Did you like that level of aggressiveness from him? And is that kind of what you want to be in terms of an output shot-wise on a more regular basis?
Yeah, of course. We want him to be aggressive at all times, and he can't get dissuaded by a slow start after he missed a few games. Sometimes you come in and you're red hot, and sometimes after being out for a few games, like the other night, I think he missed his first 5 shots, and but he's not going to lose his aggressiveness over that, and he knows what he means to us. So he'll stay aggressive for 48 minutes, and that's what we want.
Hey, Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Frank. I actually have 2 questions for you. One, to follow up on what Dave was asking. you're saying KCP isn't getting enough open looks. Is there some nights you just kind of need him to shoot anyway? You need him shooting more?
Nope. We don't want him taking guarded shots. We want our whole team working for open shots. So, if that means, he's getting those shots, then we want him to be aggressive. We don't want him passing up open shots, which he's not doing, but we don't want him forcing.
Okay. And secondly, AD was talking to us a little bit after the game about, the pain or whatever he's feeling in his calf, and how that kind of increased with play. Have you changed, or are you paying special attention to sort of just seeing, visual signs of discomfort when he's on the floor and making substitutions or decisions based on that?
Obviously, if he's having discomfort, then we can get him out of the game to be evaluated. But since he returned, it's really just we're at a place with his minutes where we started. Last year we played the whole first quarter, whole third quarter, and we came into the ramp up thinking like let's play the first 9 and maybe the second 7 or 8 of the second quarter, and we'll build up. But we haven't really been able to build up because he's had minor setbacks with these nagging injuries. So we're still in that space with him, and obviously if he's having discomfort on the court, we need to get him out. We'll get him out.
Okay, we'll just take a couple more here. Brian Kamenetsky, please.
Hey, Frank, given the general weirdness of last year and the roster changes and things like that, how much are you able to, a third of the way through the season this year, kind of use last year as a measuring stick of where you are versus where you feel like you need to be when the playoffs roll around as that process goes along?
Yeah, I think at times you look back at where you were last year, but for the most part you're focused on this year's team and what that game calls for, what that next stretch of games calls for. If you want to look at certain rotations and certain whatever offensive packages to explore and to grow with, or defensive coverages to grow, all those types of things. But we're trying to build as the season goes along, and I think there's a small instance where you look back to last year, but for the most part we're focused on this year.
Okay, and Michael Duarte, please.
Hey, Frank, last season you guys were, I think, top 5 or 6 in interior defense as far as the opponent's points in the paint you guys allowed. This year in the bottom 5, averaging about 50. Does that concern you at all moving forward, and how do you fix it?
Yeah, it does a little bit. We've had some games where we just haven't been as committed enough to rim protection at any position. It's not about the change in the roster, it's about the commitment, and we just have to be better when we really hit our guys on it. We've had some great nights. We took 6 charges in a half, in Chicago at one point, and I think teams are being smarter with how they attack us. But it's just something that we want to get better at, and but the totality of what we're doing defensively so far has been pretty good, and like always, we're going to continue to try to get better.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Frank.
Happy Valentine's Day, Jen Bogle.